I think for most music producers, myself included, constantly worrying about how close to perfect we can get the song, and there's always another version that you can do, and if you go back in and I'll change that, and there's no end. You just got to get to a point where you're like Fred and you're like, that's cool, like I think it sounds cool, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it kind of sounds a little bit unfinished, that's also the cool part of it. Maybe it is. Maybe the fact is that you wrote that in 2 days with, you know, your friend who was visiting from somewhere, and that what you captured in those 2 days is exactly where it's meant to be. And the more you go in and edit it and change it, and you're just taking it further away from what it was when you made it initially. That's my biggest lesson really at the moment, is to stop going in and updating it.
Is that how the top artists do it as well? Is it kind of just when they feel it's right? Like there's a technical process, right? But like you say, there's just when do you accept it to be good enough to release?
Yeah,
that's kind of like a weird process, because it could be never ending, and it could be like it's good, but that's kind of probably always what it is, right?
That is absolutely every artist you'll speak to, and not just musicians, but like anyone who's creating anything will pretty much, most of them will say it's good, but it's not quite there yet. But that's also the level of people that you're operating alongside when creating any product or thing that is going to be able to stand the test of time. You've got to obsess over the details. You've got to be so specific with it. Like, think about the level of details that goes into the best TV programs, the best movies. There won't be a single frame of a second that is wasted or not used in the correct fashion or manner. Same goes for songs, same goes for a podcast. Like, we're making sure that when we clip things, that there's not a wasted moment or a breath that we could cut if it makes the content more powerful, more impactful, more immediate. It's not even chasing perfection, it's striving for excellence and forget perfection, because you never get to perfection. God's perfection. Do your best in his name and you're off.
And that's what you're doing now, just not holding on to it. You know,
I'm really working on my letting go muscle.
Yeah.
Because I got to stop caring so much about whether someone else sees it as good or not. It doesn't matter, dude. You did it. It's not nice to myself to be like, oh, it's not good enough. I'm being like so critical of myself when I do that. It's really unhealthy for me.
What is the conversation you have with yourself?
Like, just that it's not ready yet. Like, I need to go in and I've got to just do one more thing. You know, it's almost like the texting your ex thing. I've got to say one more thing and then she'll understand. I've got to go back in and do one more tweak to this hi-hat.
Okay, let's say you go back, you do the tweak, and then what?
and then there'll be something else that I find.
So you'll say, yeah, but now this?
Yeah. Or I might get to a point, like, I am a psychopath, but I'm not ultra.
Yeah.
But there'll be a point where I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm pretty sure that's as good as I can get. And I might send that to someone to listen to it who's like an outside party who I really trust, like someone like Jack, or someone who's going to give me real straightforward feedback, but who also can understand it in the terms and the language that is helpful to me. If they were to say, oh, you know, you should consider this. There's no point in me asking somebody who's good at writing essays how I would change something in a song. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's two different types of language and terminology. But the next day I might wake up and listen to that song and think, it's not quite ready yet because I forgot that I needed to do this, that and the other. So there we go again. So you got to set a boundary on it yourself, or if other artists often will have teams that would also just step in and say, that's enough on that track. That one's done. We're parking that one. This one's going to go to this label. There's only so far you can take a song or a thing until you need to get some feedback from it, or just let go and just be like, I'm done with this one. Here you go, world.
Do you collect any data on how specific tracks perform? Do you know which ones tend to do better? Have you ever gone through the process to dig out why a certain track performed better than others, other than the random thing? There's obviously you just sometimes just don't know what's gonna hit and what doesn't. But do you feel like some that you work on longer or less, or some that you work with specific people, or some where you just have a certain feeling yourself about that changes how the track is received? Have you ever actually try to objectify what it is?
Not so much in retrospect. I've done this with content, like on Instagram, social media and stuff, less with songs. I haven't got enough songs out to be able to really tell, there was the specific difference in this one to that one. Most generally, I can tell because the songs are really good. Like, I can just tell it's well written, good sound selection, lyrics are good. You know, you can, I believe I can tell a well done song versus a song which is, because the more underground the sounds get, the less commercial, the smaller the audience there is that are listening to it. So the tracks that do better are the ones that, generally speaking, are more tailored towards a commercial listenership.
I see.
If I were to go back over my old songs, I would be able to tell, just because certain songs are more like songs and certain ones are more like club tracks. The songs will tend to do better because they just have longer legs. People connect to real lyrics and storytelling more than they do just sounds.
Mm-hmm. But then also within the commercial selection, some songs do better than others, right? So I don't know how you do it, but I would think that any song you put out, because you said I kind of know when a song is good or when the lyrics are good, when it's well written, you probably feel that about most songs you put out. Otherwise, you wouldn't be working on them or putting them out. But still, some of them gain like the star.
Yeah, or some of them.
There's something still different between even all of those that you deem to be good.
Yeah,
no?
of course. And again,
that's what I'm trying to see. Like, if you've ever had an inkling of what that may be that makes that one song stand out in
vocals
comparison
for
to
me. For me, it's vocals.
Okay.
It could be incredible arrangement. There could be some string section or some piano part which is so beautiful. However, when you work with the best vocalists, the best songwriters, the best top line writers, the best performers, like sometimes you can hear someone sing the same vocal in 3 different ways, like 3 different people singing the same lyrics, and it sounds wildly different because they're singing the words in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's better for a songwriter to write a song for someone else and someone else sings it. Sometimes it's definitely not the case because what they've written is very, sits in their heart and it's for them to perform. But it's down to like a bit of a mixture of things that artists or musicians that you're working with, plus if you can get a hold of a really, really good vocal or a really, really good singer, songwriter and write something with them. Again, it comes back down to the authenticity of the song, because you can manufacture a pop song, but it is not going to resonate with people the same way that a true song will, like something the Beatles wrote, or something that it's just guitar and someone singing about heartbreak or love or something like that, something that everyone knows. It's no surprise that if you were to look up the number one words used in songs, that baby and love and these types of words are up there, because they're just worldwide, they're universal.
So the more an artist is willing to shed insight to their inner being and to their inner emotional turbulence, the more transparent they are when it comes to that, the higher likelihood that the song will succeed.
Absolutely. And the higher likelihood that the artist succeeds, because what do they get from releasing these songs, which are also their journal entries? They gain an army of fans. Think of Taylor Swift. She's written basically her entire relationship, ons and offs, and she's amassed a huge following of people through that storytelling, because they think that they know her then, and they do. They know themselves through her pain. She's one example, but yeah, the best songwriters will have shared their blood essentially on the page.
Yeah.
That's easier said than done as well, because you want to share those things, but it's also
you're thinking of how you'll be perceived.
Yeah,
right? You'll naked, man.
Yeah,
that's tough. But I think the top artists, like, they mastered the fact that they're so authentically themselves that they transcend almost that fear of judgment. I don't even know if they have that at a certain level. They'll just put themselves out, right? The top people.
Yeah, they'll likely have it, but on themselves.
What do you mean?
They will be setting constant bars for themselves to achieve. I would still say that most of them are reading a reaction from how well they're doing and how successful they're being based on how well things are being perceived. I think it's impossible to not in whatever you're doing. The key is to take as little of it to heart as possible,
Yeah.
to realize that it's all just feedback, and that can be, it's not fact. It's just subjective opinion. How can you not let that affect you though when you're on stage, or
Sure.
someone's saying something about your outfit, or Lady Gaga's dressed up wearing like, you know, steaks. What was she? She was wearing like a meat dress.
No,
To one
I don't
event.
remember that.
Back at, I can't remember what it was. It was one of the, whatever they're called, the awards that you win for music. BAFTAs, not BAFTAs. What's it called?
VMA?
Not Oscars. Why am I thinking about movies? But anyway, whatever. She wore a dress made completely of meat.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're a pop star, like everything's on blast, isn't it? You can't avoid anything. Think about Justin Bieber, mate. What a tough life he's had to live. Like, yeah, fair enough. Amazing. Made a pop star from age 13 or something. But on the other side of that, he can't go to the grocery store. Everyone's constantly paparazziing him. He can't have a normal life, so to speak.
It's weird, man, because to a certain degree, when all eyes are on you, it triggers that evolutionary mechanism of being judged for something. When all eyes were on us, it was typically when we were put on a stage to be judged for something that we did wrong. That's why when people public speak, there's like an inherent fear to public speaking for most people, because it kind of triggers that being looked at by a variety of people. But evolutionary, that's for us being judged for, let's say, a crime or something we've done wrong. But obviously now we've evolved. We learn to public speak for a variety of reasons. So imagine having that, almost like that evolutionary trigger on you all the time. Everyone is around you with a camera all the time. So, you know, you could feel annoyed, you could feel judged. You kind of have to, that's a tough one, because you have to learn to essentially not care for something that you're evolutionarily wired to care for.